Welcome to the session. In this session, I'm going to talk about Seven Ages of Man by William Shakespeare. This poem is prescribed for the BA First Sem students by Karnataka University, Dharwad. Seven Ages of Man by William Shakespeare. The main learning objectives of the poem. It enables the students to understand the poetic text and rhythmic language. It helps them to identify and describe the major theme in the poem. It also enables them to proper use of pronunciation, stress and intonation. And by learning this poem, students will analyze the importance of a life of man. The session outcomes. At the end of the session, students will be able to interpret the poem with the life of a man. They will comprehend the meaning of the stanzas as a whole and they will learn new words and express their feelings. Introduction of the poem. The poem Seven Ages of Man is the reply by Jacques to Duke Senior. It is taken from the Shakespeare's famous play As You Like It. The dialogues takes place in scene 7th of Act 2, where the philosopher Jacques is talking to Duke Senior and Orlando in the forest of Arden. They are having a dinner when Duke Senior confesses to Jacques that he and his men are alone and unhappy, whereas the whole world is full of joy. And it is a reply by Jacques to console the sad Duke Senior and to tell the audience of the play that unhappiness is a part of life. Here, the main theme of the poem is that is philosophical view of a life where we have to take the life equally. We have to accept both the happiness and the unhappiness equally. In this poem, the poet uses many figures of speeches like a metaphor, simile, alliteration, and assonance. It is in monologue, and meter is iambic pentameter. The title of the poem. The title of the poem itself is going to give the details of the life. It describes the different stages of life. Here, as the title itself is going to explain, here the life of a man is divided into a 7 stages from life to death, that is from infant to old age. Here the another title also used for this poem, that is world is full of actors. That is here you may go, you can also call it as the world is a stage. Difficult words, we come across so many difficult words in this poem. The main summary of the poem. 7 stages of a life from birth to death. Here he is telling that the life of a man begins with the infant and it ends with the old age. In between, he acts so many different roles like a schoolboy, lover, soldier, justice, middle aged man, and at the last, that is, he is going to be a second child. Now I'm going to explain the first stage of a life, that is infancy. The birth of a child is the first act of the drama of a human life. The human baby cries and vomits in the nurse's arms. Soon he starts going to school. Here, while going to school, here he is not at all happy. He goes to school unwillingly. He is creeping like a snail and he is shouting and crying, but he has to go to school. That is the part of his life. The third stage is that is lover. He plays a role of a lover. The young lover sighs like a furnace and sings some of a mournful and a heartbroken songs, ballads, praising the beauty of his beloved. Here he is craving for the love of his beloved lady. For him, the whole world is lady or is lover. He tries to connect his life with the joy and sorrows of his lover. She is going to be everything to her. But in the fourth stage, that is of a soldier, here he is going to be a little bit serious about his life. He sports a beard like that of a leopard and he is very quick tempered in a matters of honor. In this stage, in his life, honor is going to be a very important thing in his life. He seeks reputation even at the risk of his life. He is not afraid of a death and a danger while fighting for a reputation. However, his reputation is short lived here because he is thinking about only a reputation. In the next stage, that is of a justice, that is in the middle age. The fifth stage is that of a judge. Justice means here he is going to lead a justified life. He is like a judge here. He is fat with a round belly and he has a beard of a formal cut. As a soldier, he is having the beard of a leopard, which is not at all trimmed, but here he is having a formal cut. His belly has become a round and a fat because he is eating so much chickens. His eyes are now harsh looking. He becomes a strict in his behavior and at the same time he is going to express his wisdom in his decisions and he gives a proper decisions. The next stage, that is of the sixth stage, he is more matured. The sixth stage takes a person to old age. Man becomes a weak in health and thin by body. He wears slippers, spectacles, and cloths of his youth. These cloths are now too loose for his shrunk and thin legs. His voice becomes unmanly and shrill. He pipes and whistles. He lives like a child as he is toothless. So here we come across that he is trying to avoid all the things in his life. He is going towards retiring. He is trying to retire from all the obligations of his life. He prefers to relax at home. The last role is that of an extremely old person. Here he is going to be a helpless baby. So his life is going to be a helpless baby. Means as a child, as an infant, how he is going to be a helpless. In this stage, he is again going to, in that stage, is toothless, hard of a hearing, weak in eyesight, and a forgetfulness. In fact, he loses control over all his senses. He departs from this world after playing all these roles in his life. Session summary. In this poem, the poet discussed the different roles played by a man. As an infant, he is crying a lot and rejecting the world. As a schoolboy, he is not at all interested and willing to go to school. As a lover, he is a heartbroken person. As a man of a soldier, he is very much serious about his life and reputation. In his fifth stage, as a judge, he tries to lead a justified life. Sixth stage of a middle age, he is trying to retire from all the obligations of a life. The last stage, that is of a child, second child, here he is going to be like a child here without a teeth, taste, and a eyes, and with his forgetfulness. So this is the summary of the whole poem, Seven Ages of Man. In this poem, the poet tries to explain the life of a man in a philosophical way. Here, he is telling that the human beings are mortal, the world is timeless. Each person plays a role assigned to him or her in the same way as an actor or an actress does a drama on a stage in a theater. We enter the world when we are born. So, this is the poem Seven Ages of a